Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome back. Today I thought we would talk about favorite middle grade mysteries. Since by the time this video goes up, it will be middle grade March. It's a perfect time to talk about them. And today I have the lovely, the unimitable favorite guest of all time, Claire Doyle.
Hello, hello, hello.
She's bowing in case you can't tell. It's kind of hard to tell when you can mostly see her head. Anyway, so today we thought we would talk about some of Claire's favorite mysteries. Most of what we're going to be talking about today are middle grade books, but we're actually going to start with a series for the younger crowd first. That is the A to Z mysteries. Claire, could you tell us a little bit about this series?
Well, if you look at the back, it contains 3 children who solve mysteries, and it is called A to Z because the first one is the absent author and the last one is something that has to do with, do you remember what it is called?
I think zombies, maybe? I don't know. This one's the Jaguar's Jewel.
It has a jaguar, and it has a jewel between its front paws, and the jewel is changed from real to fake.
So they have to solve the mystery. So there are 26 of these, one for each letter of the alphabet, and these, I believe, were the very first mysteries that Claire was really interested in and hooked her on reading mysteries. The next series that we're going to mention is a trilogy, and that is the Book Scavenger series. We actually don't own these, but we really love them. Claire, could you tell us a little bit about Book Scavenger?
Well, it is about a family that has a goal to live in all 50 states. They're moving to San Diego in California.
San Francisco, I think.
Oh, yeah. But they both start with the Sam, so that makes sense. And they end up solving mysteries, and Book Scavenger is a place where is an app where maybe the first chapter is how to actually do Book Scavenger, which is actually an online thing. But there's this person that, I forget his name, that they call the Willy Wonka of books. Do you remember? Oh, it's Mr. Griswold.
Yeah. So Mr. Griswold invented Book Scavenger, and it is a website where you can list a book that you've hidden with clues. There's actually a real Book Scavenger website that is open because of these books, so that's kind of fun. But anyways, you hide the books with clues, and a lot of the kids who hide them use ciphers or codes to encode their clue to make it that much harder. So the main character, that's like her favorite thing, and Mr. Griswold is attacked at the beginning of the first book, and Emily, the main character, discovers a book that she believes to be his next great game. And there are tons of literary references in these books, which is why I love them so very much. The first book very much centers around Edgar Allan Poe's writing, who is one of my favorite authors, and the second one centers around Mark Twain, and the third one centers more, I think, around just Alcatraz in general. What did you like about these books, Claire?
Well, I definitely like the Book Scavenger part of it.
We're not going to say a whole lot about the next series because it's Nancy Drew, and we would be remiss to not include this in a list of really great mysteries. But I'm sure you've heard of Nancy Drew. Do you have anything you'd like to say about Nancy Drew and why you like it?
I definitely did like book 18 because that one's my favorite Nancy Drew book ever.
Book 18 is The Mystery of the Moss-Covered Mansion. And like all series, some Nancy Drew books are better than others, right, Claire?
Thank goodness you did that quickly. It was shy.
All right,
So is this
the next series is the Trixie Belden series. Claire, can you tell us a little bit about this one?
It is obviously about someone named Trixie Belden, and in this one, the Secret of the Mansion, it is about this very old mansion where a man used to live, and they obviously are examining the mansion. That is actually the fence, and you can see the mansion through the crack in the fence. They find out that a boy, that is an orphan, has started living there.
I've heard that these books are better than the Nancy Drew books, but I personally have not read them, but Claire has enjoyed them more than Nancy Drew. We're back. I bet you didn't even know that we left, but we're back. We went and had lunch, and now we're back for more. So the next book on this list is the All the Wrong Questions series by Lemony Snicket. Claire,
Round of applause!
can you tell us a little bit about this series?
Drum roll, please. All right. That involves this thing, the Abominating Beast.
So this is by the same author who did a series of Unfortunate Events, which has a lot of humor and wit in it. But this is supposed to be Lemony Snicket as a child, and he is solving mysteries. There are 4 books in this series. They're all really, really clever and funny and witty, and have a lot of really fun literary references, which is something else I really like about it. Claire, what did you like about this book?
Well, I definitely liked the mystery. I liked it sort of centers around the Abominating Beast, which is probably why the Abominating Beast is in a circle.
Yeah, it's the Abominating Beast. The next one is not a series, it's just a standalone book, and it's The World's Greatest Detective. And this is probably one of my favorite middle grade mysteries ever. I loved it so much that I passed it on to Claire, who then passed it on to my husband, so we've all really enjoyed this one. Claire, can you tell us a little bit about this book?
Well, I must say something first. I was the one who actually got my father into reading it.
Yes. Anyway, can you tell us about the book?
It is about somebody who is definitely on the cover, named Toby. The World's Greatest Detective, Mr. Abernathy, has a contest. Whoever wins the contest and solves the mystery wins, I think, $100,000, or maybe it's 10,000, whatever. And the title of the World's Greatest Detective. And he enters.
Yes, it's a really, really fun book with a lot of really cool twists, and we all really enjoyed this one. The last series that Claire wanted to recommend is the Sinclair's Mysteries. We have The Clockwork Sparrow here because it's the first book in the series, but Claire's favorite is actually The Painted Dragon. Claire, can you tell us a little bit about this series?
I'll tell you first about that one. It is about a newly opening store called Sinclair's, and a majestic clockwork sparrow gets stolen from a gallery. And Sophie and Lil, his name is actually Lillian, but that is her nickname, is for dress shows and is also an actor. Sophie is a shop girl, and they must solve the mystery. And perhaps there's a plot twist.
There often is in mystery books.
And in The Painted Dragon, it is the 3rd book. The 2nd book is The Jeweled Moth, and the 4th book is The Midnight Peacock. This is the 3rd, The Painted Dragon. It's about the green dragon, a dragon painting. And it's split up into sections named after the paintings. This one is the red dragon, and there is Dragon Passant, also known as the Blue Dragon. Dragon Combatant, also known as the Silver Dragons. This has to do with the Green Dragon. A girl named Leo. Her real name is Leona, but she is called Leo for short. She is being followed, and she seems to be followed by someone.
Sounds
She hears
mysterious.
footsteps. And now, goodbye.
Okay, so I wanted to add in a few mystery books, and Claire did not want to sit with me while I discussed these books. So there's a few that I wanted to add to the list that I feel like are excellent middle grade mystery options as well. The first one being The Mysterious Benedict Society, and this is about some children who have very unusual abilities and are very intelligent. And they are brought together by Mr. Benedict to solve a mystery. I believe there's either like 3 or 4 books in the series. I've only read the first one, but it was really, really good. Next one is a middle grade mystery classic, and that is The Westing Game. This is about a gentleman, Mr. Westing, who passes away, and when he does, he invites, I believe it's like 16 people to the reading of his will, and whoever is able to determine what happened to him, who killed him, will then win his entire inheritance. So it's very interesting, very twisty, and definitely recommend this one. And the last book I want to recommend is a new to me middle grade mystery series, and that is Aggie Morton Mystery Queen. So far there are 2 books out in this series. The only one that I have read so far is this one, The Body Under the Piano. Aggie Morton is supposed to be a child version of Agatha Christie. So I believe she's 12 years old and she wants to be a writer someday. She writes poetry, but she also, throughout the book, whenever things happen, she very dramatically romanticizes it in her head. So at one point she does something and assumes she's going to get in trouble for it. And she says in her mind, the church bell tolled as a solemn procession led the girl past a horde of onlookers to the sturdy scaffold in the village square. So she very much makes things that much more dramatically phrased in her mind because she wants to be a reader someday. And that's really something that I could relate to as a child. I definitely dramatized things in my mind. But anyways, so she meets this boy who happens to be an immigrant from Belgium, and his name is Hector Poirot, and he's obviously supposed to be a child version of Hercule Poirot. And then her grandmother, Granny Jane, is supposed to be like Jane Marple. So it is so fun, and if you are an Agatha Christie fan, you'll probably really like this one. So here we are. This is our stack of middle grade mystery recommendations. So if you are in search of a good new middle grade book or series to start and you really love mysteries, we would highly recommend that you start with these books. If you have any other middle grade mystery series or books that you have enjoyed, please leave them in the comments down below. We are always looking for new books to read, so we would really appreciate your recommendations. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe. I'll see you again next time.